Now on to the next one. This was actually a rumor, but it's a little bit more interesting of a rumor, and I thought it probably should make its own segment because there is some obviously legitimacy to this. So it seems like there is a filing from Microsoft that hints toward a new console codename Keystone. Now, for those that don't know, Microsoft has done this before. This is how the series consoles got leaked. There was a filing for uh, a console called Scarlet, which happened to be the Series X and S. And there was also obviously Project Scorpio, which was announced by Phil Spencer himself at E3, I think in 2016. So now, obviously, we have the series consoles, right? The X and the S. Both I feel like are really good consoles. I have the S, and maybe later I'll plan on getting the X. But to have another console, um, like what exactly would this be? Like what do you guys expect that Microsoft would come out with a third console? Like, would you think it's a Xbox X with no disk drive, or an S with a disk drive, or something else entirely? Like, why would they make a third console?
Don't you see what it is, Blinded? We've been covering this particular topic for so long that I'm surprised you're blinded to the fact that the new Xbox console, codenamed
I
Keystone,
have.
is actually they bought Intellivision.
Oh, oh my God! Breaking news: Microsoft, Phil Spencer, he bought Intellivision. Oh my God! This would be absolutely insane.
No,
I
but
mean,
seriously though, I don't think. I think it's going to be a hybrid system. I think they're going to try to go after the mobile gaming market. They're going to try to make a version of the Switch. That's
A
my guess.
version of the Switch would be interesting. Um, because they've been kind of playing around with the cloud and with X is it X Cloud, I think it's called. That's the project
Yeah,
title. So I have tried it on my
I
phone
believe it's
a
X
little
Cloud.
bit. Yeah, and it was interesting. Now, uh, realistically, what do I think this is? I think the most simplest answer is I think this is going to be some type of dongle um, for kind of almost like a Apple TV or a PlayStation TV. That is kind of my guessing based on the name Keystone. It seems like it's just going to be, hey, I don't want to buy an Xbox console, but I do want to stream Game Pass games. And so you get this dongle and you plug it into your TV or, something like that to that effect. Like just like how we had if anybody remembers, the PlayStation TV, which was like a Vita that you would plug into your TV. So I know that sound does not sound as exciting as like a new Xbox console, but I think that's what's going to happen. And I am curious to see if this obviously, you know, get catches on because I mean, most of us know that like, Google Stadia and Amazon Luma, I think it's called. I forget the name of it, but Amazon's competitor to Game Pass or xCloud, they've been struggling, I would say, at trying to get people to buy into this idea of cloud gaming. And we kind of talked about it. I think it was like 2 weeks ago with the Plex shutting down. Now, obviously, that's not really comparable to Google Stadia and Luma because they have AAA games like Control and Red Dead Redemption 2 and Borderlands 3, all these hot games that people want to play, but do you really want to play them in the cloud? Like, I'm curious to see. Like,
Maybe it's a VR headset because they did shoot down rumors real quick of a new Xbox VR headset.
hmm, that'd be
yeah,
interesting.
those are both good takes. I like Blinded's take on it. I also like both of your takes on it, Tony. That VR headset. I mean, the PSVR 2 is coming out, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you got, I mean, obviously, Meta or Facebook, whatever the hell you want to call them these days, they've made great strides in VR, and they showed that VR is still a viable way to go and make money. So it's hard. I could see them going many ways. You guys bring up a lot of good points. Going the handheld route, maybe making something comparable to the Switch, or maybe sitting in between the Switch and the Steam Deck. I could definitely see something along those lines too. Have we ruled out that it could just be a revision, maybe a slimmer?
Xbox X or
Yeah,
Series X.
yeah.
Um, that could be possible. I don't remember if the Xbox One S had a code name. Like usually when these filings happen, it's usually for something that is not a revision. But maybe it did have a code and I'm just like completely blanking on it. But someone could correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that is possible. I was always saying personally, like I have a Series S, and obviously I have a friend that owns a Series X, and we kind of like trade our experiences. And personally, I feel like the S is already so small enough, like it sits right on my desk, and it really is like almost like just in a wide, or at least or not wide, but yeah, I guess it would be wide. It's maybe just like an inch, right? When I put it up vertically.
Whoa.
Um,
I feel sorry for you, Blinded. It's brave of you to admit that, but
oh boy, dick jokes. Dick jokes. Don't worry about that. Anyway, um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, like the Series S, I feel like is a really good console compared to like the PS5 and the big boys, right? Like you're getting a lot for your money, and it's relatively cheap. And I know that they're having some issues putting out games supposedly. Like they were claiming, oh, Dying Light 2 can't run at 60 FPS at 1080p, and then they put out a patch this week for a 60 FPS mode. So um I think it's an underrated console, but to get to my point, I think they should have made a Series X without the disk drive. I personally probably would have bought it over the S, just because, well, I have a 4K monitor and I do see the benefits to 4K gaming. It's not like a huge jump, but I probably would have preferred going with something a bit more powerful than the S, just in case, right? Because if developers are already dragging their feet on supporting it and giving us performance modes, then I feel like 3-4 years down the road, there's going to be like major issues with the console itself, and
Well,
that's kind of my biggest concern.
what do you think? Do you think there'd be a viable way to do Game Pass? And I know you brought up like this dongle and cloud gaming type situation. Do you think there'd
Mhm.
be a way for them to make maybe a standalone box that could be uh, very affordable but not be cloud gaming, and then maybe just offer something along the lines of a Game Pass, and maybe it's stripped down a little bit, but it's essentially Game Pass, and maybe
Mhm.
they offer that at an affordable price. Maybe that, I don't know if that's something that could be possible, but I always thought about that. Like, what if they offered, so like a standalone box that, no, you can't buy games for it, you can't do any of that. You can hook it up to the internet, and you can
just the Game
basically,
Pass box.
and just a Game Pass
Mhm.
box. I think some, because just the way that they've handled Game Pass in the last few years, it seems like that's all they've. I mean, it's not all they've focused on, but that has been their main focus, and it's been a talking point for a lot of people. I think a reason why people love Xbox so much right now is mainly due to Game Pass and what it can offer. So maybe a stripped down version of it. Maybe it
I
doesn't
think that would
offer
be
this.
interesting.
maybe it doesn't offer the, the most current gen games, or maybe they have developers kind of approach that differently, to have, settings, but to have it be affordable, right? To have it hit at a certain price point, and make, because cloud game, the problem I have with the cloud gaming is that Google kind of like the whole Stadia thing kind of put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Yes,
And
yeah.
and I could see them doing it, because if anybody can do it right, I think it's Microsoft's the one who's, Microsoft and Sony are going to be the ones who do it right in the future. But right now, I don't think that would be the smartest choice for them. I think they would be smarter to wait, and let that sour taste kind of be cleansed out of people's mouths with the whole Google thing. But yeah, I mean, I definitely could see it going a bunch of different ways. I think you guys bring up a lot of good points. An Xbox VR headset, they want to compete. I could definitely see them maybe going into the handheld route. But yeah, you guys bring up good points.
There is one thing I did want to touch on with that VR headset. I actually I was in a programming class, and we got the opportunity to go to Microsoft headquarters, and I actually tried out their augmented reality headset. Which I think you can purchase it, but it's like crazy expensive. I would have to like Google it and see. Um, and you could like play. We were like playing Minecraft on it, and it was like very interesting. Um, and I kind of would like to see them do something like that, an augmented reality game system, I
Well,
guess.
well, well. Did they ever end up releasing that HoloLens stuff?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The HoloLens. That's what I tried out.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, and
that's what I'm
I
not sure
haven't
if it came out.
I haven't really followed that, and I mean they've been working, or I don't know too much about it, but the last time I had checked in on it was such a long time ago, and like you said, like Minecraft was like their big. I remember watching the stage demonstration of it, and it was very
Mhm.
unique. So something like that could definitely be like a Nintendo moment, right? I mean, if they
Yeah,
had a
and they've been
new kind
trying to
of,
do it.
right, because something like that would definitely need its own jumping point, right? Because you're not going to really want
Mhm.
to offer that on the same thing that, it's not like console games, the same way as VR is not. I mean, obviously you have PlayStation VR, but the Quest is so popular for a reason that it's just kind of like it's its own thing. It's not trying to be,
Mhm.
PlayStation's trying to be PlayStation and VR. I think they're definitely, they're separate markets, and that's another good point. I think it could be something like have the HoloLens technology, and then have developers, develop strictly for that type of application.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. So it is something that you can buy, but it is crazy expensive. Like here in Canada, I think this is the Canadian. This might be American, but like 3 grand. And
Oh wow.
from yeah, it's a lot. And from how I tried it and put it on, it is very bulky. It's not like it is here's the thing, it's slimmer than like a normal VR headset, but it is kind of bulky, like just because there's so much computing, stuff into it that they put into it. And I just thought it was like a really unique experience playing it, because it was like, oh wow, this feels like this should be cheaper, but at the same time, like I could see why it was so expensive. Um, and playing Minecraft in it was like a weird experience. Like it didn't even feel like you were playing Minecraft, but it was Minecraft. It was really weird. But yeah, and just to end it off, just one thing that I wanted to pull back or mention was Microsoft did have some type of um it wasn't like a Connect, but it was like supposed to be again like augmented reality, but like in a spatial sense where like it was like projecting something and then you're interacting with that. Um,
Well, I thought that was basically what HoloLens was. Or
it's sort of, well, HoloLens, you're wearing this thing, right? But this device that they were creating, and I think it got scrapped, but it's like a projector, right? And you're interacting, so it's augmented, but it's not. You're not wearing anything, right? It's all like, you're let's say like a game is on the surface, and then you press the button to start right on the table. There's no controller. You just press start, right? Like that's how it was supposed to operate, but I think it was just too expensive. And I think Microsoft kind of realized that the Kinect was just too gimmicky, and it probably was better for other industries besides gaming. And that's what I'm seeing on the website. It's like HoloLens is for like engineers and doctors and
Right.
all these different, exploring education, and you don't actually see anywhere that says gaming or you could play Minecraft on it because I mean it's hella expensive, so I don't expect
Right.
people to play
Right.
Minecraft on it.
I don't think that, once the technology catches up, I think that could be viable in the future. But
Yeah.
as it stands right now, it was nice to see that. Like it's been so long. I just haven't followed the project because that demonstration was, I believe it was like at least 5 to 6 years ago at this point now,
Yes, yeah.
where they were playing the like you said, the Minecraft demo, and it sounded like a great idea. But obviously, since I haven't really either followed it or heard much about it, I kind of figured it had kind of dropped off or died. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's still around. I'm kind of glad. I would actually like to try it again sometime. And I know Apple is working on one, but it's probably just going to be as expensive as the HoloLens. But we'll see what this Keystone console turns out to be. So